Hello, welcome to week 6 of our series to get you in good accountability shape and make sure that you are understanding all the programs well and how to progress at Tone Today. So this is one of my favorite ones. We're just going to touch on it for a short period. I've taken, a 6-month series on this basically, working on stories and mindset and all of that, because ultimately when it comes down to it, you had a reason that you reached out to Tone Today. And so when I sit down with every new client at this point, we always have that goal setting meeting. And that's so, so crucial. And I talk about that. It's the emotional reason. It's, what got you from point A, thinking about, bettering your health and doing something about it, to point B, actually sitting down and signing up and deciding to really take action, is a huge part of what we're going to kind of go look at now as stories about ourselves. So as you start training and are doing this, I'm sure that a lot of us have come into Tone Today, every single one of us, with a story. And so that's kind of neat because each one of us is seeing Tone Today different. Okay, so my perception of Tone Today is going to be completely different than, per se, a client, Sue. Okay, so Sue comes in and we have Nadine and we have myself, and they're all coming into with different goals, a different maybe perspective and story about life, on how you have strength training in the past, how you've lost weight, if it's happened for you, if it's going to happen, why you want it to happen. These are all what we call stories. So Sue comes in with a completely different story and reason. So then she has a completely different perception of Tone Today, without getting too deep, than Nadine might have, or that myself has. So I've been working fitness for quite a few years. I have a lot of stories, a lot that I've worked through, and a lot that I still need to work on in my life to see things the way that I want them. So stories are basically, we are what we think we are. And I think I've heard this more and more, and maybe it's because I've done the mindset training, so it's coming across my table more, where I'm like, yep, there it is again. I am going to, what I think and what I believe internally is how things are going to play out. And so this could have happened as early as, when we're 12 years old, 13 years old. It starts when we're 5 years old, right? If we're a woman or if we're a man, how our father speaks to us, how our mom speaks to us, if we had a mother, father in the home, what kind of family we were raised in, what type of culture. So this all starts to build basically on our belief system and our stories about life and fitness and our self-worth and all of that. So it starts out very young. And so what can happen is we intrinsically start to believe things. And if we don't address and become aware of what those things are, we subconsciously follow them, because that's how we're set up. Our body, we always want to connect the dots. So everything in a human brain says, okay, I want to connect. So I want to make sense of that. And so even if it doesn't make sense in the right way that we want it to, we may have grabbed from a story, from something else we've heard that someone said about us, or so the way we felt or whatnot, because we want to connect the dots. So let me go into that a little deeper. Stories are what we think. Good. So here are some examples of what is your story. So a couple examples, and this is a pretty tough one to come out with right away, but just think about this. If you're saying, I'm a fat failure that will never lose weight, and that's that's not a very good way to think about it, but that could be our story. Or I've tried to lose weight in the past and it never works. Okay, so just think about how subconsciously we start to build on that story and we become what we're saying we are. So now you're at Tone Today, you've decided, all right, I am a fat failure that will never lose weight, but I'm going to try. So you've got this little 5% of your conscious brain saying, yeah, maybe I'm not a fat failure. Is that a fact, or is it a story? So you've already started to kind of guess that one out, but you still could be living it out subconsciously by not fully addressing it, okay? Or I deserve that dessert. This is a more common one. I would say this is one that I have really come across this in my own life many, many times, that I deserve the dessert, the burger, the crackers, and wine since I've had such a tough week, or today was so stressful, I'm very tired, I didn't get enough sleep. Those are all my personal stories, so I can really relate to that one. It's Friday. I'm going to enjoy my weekend. This is going to be fun. By fun, my story is that you have a dessert, you have some extra wine, you're going to have fun, you're going to let loose. In reality, though, I've had to call myself on that story and ask myself, is it necessarily fun to have a dessert? It may or may not be. It tastes good, but it doesn't really necessarily mean I'm going to have fun and relax. And I might be using the wrong means to get to a goal, right? By having dessert and having crackers or a burger or wine, right? So maybe wine helps us relax. So like I've told myself that if I have wine, I can relax and forget about everything. But then what ends up happening is my inhibitions go down and then I eat more. So basically my weight loss goal is going out the window, or even the next day, I'm not going to feel very good. So maybe there's a different story I could build around that. Okay. I can't get up early. That's another great one for me. I can't get up early. I need my sleep. It's so hard for me to get up. Oh, that's too early. Some of us may be saying that, or I need to help my husband, friends, kids, because that is how I show love. They need my time more than I need my time. And I would say that is number one for moms who have kids in college, throughout, spouses, friends, whatever. You're concerned about Molly. She's going through a tough time and she needs to exercise and she really needs to better her health with this healthy food. And you become consumed with Molly. But then you're drought and dire because you're not really addressing your own needs and you're not taking time for that. So that could be a story. Or I can't do cardio. I'm weak and it hurts and it takes too long. My hair gets all sweaty. So these are all stories that I've heard from people or that I have had myself, that I have about myself. So definitely it takes too long. It hurts. But in reality, when I do my cardio, does it really hurt? Not really, and can I endure it? Yes. Can I get to the next 5 minutes? It's an in the moment thing. It really isn't something that I need to blow up into this big story, because the more that I subconsciously believe each of these stories, the more my conscious reactions are going to happen subconsciously, quick. I'm never going to get to the goal if I continue to listen to these stories. So it's really important to know what your stories are. So a little homework that I want to give everyone who's watching this video is, take some time to jot down your thoughts. We call this the 4 A's in mindset. So this is the beginning of every mindset program that you start. You have to first, and this is this is any kind of like Food Addicts Anonymous, the 12-step program and AA, all of the, therapy. This is number one. And so this just kind of treads into it, is awareness. So you think about it, without being aware, we're completely, there's no way we're going to get better and be able to be better and start to figure out what are the thoughts that are driving this behavior. So the first thing is becoming aware of what your stories might be. So when you find yourself in the moment not accomplishing something that you wanted, and this is going to be a progressive thing. This can take weeks to figure out, or it could take, a couple days, but you need to really look at your thoughts, what is that thought? Am I thinking I'm a fat failure? Screw it. I'm eating this, Fair. Good. That's aware. You're aware. You're aware that you internally believe you are a fat failure and you're going to eat this. Or I deserve it. It's been such a tough week. I am emotionally drained. I am going to have that glass of wine. Okay. Well, there you go. That is your story. And so that's the first step. Second step is going to be the acceptance. So we need to look at accepting that that's the story. We don't hate it or love it. There's not too much emotional connection to it. Basically, we just accept it. I have stories. I have stories about scarcity. I know that I do. That I am afraid that, the rug's going to pull out from under me. I'm not going to have security in my relationships, in my financials, in my fitness. So I call it a scarcity mindset. So it's kind of the same thing. And I don't hate it or love it. I'm just aware that it's there. Okay? And so then I move on. We're going to be accountable for it. So being aware, accepting, accountable. That means when the thought comes up, I'm going to account for it. Okay, I thought that again. Ooh, I don't like that. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just part of me. What do I want to do about it though? I'm a big fat failure. I'm going to eat this. I've had a tough week. I deserve this. So I'm being accountable to my story. And so from that point, instead of maybe trailing into the food, you're going to adapt out of it. So a great way is to start to make some new stories. And so the new story may be, I'm working really hard at losing weight. I'm seeing results and I'm feeling stronger. Okay. So I am a strong, healthy woman. Okay. So that's a new story. And it's not factual that you're a fat loser that needs to eat, right? Is that a fact? Absolutely not. That's an opinion and a story that has come from somewhere, a place, and it needs to be replaced. And so the fact is, if you're coming to Tone today and you're working hard, you're replacing that story. And so build on it. You're building already with your action, but build it in your subconscious. Believe it. Think about it. Make the story. And then your choices come out of it. So you are doing that. And so, you know what? A woman who is working at a weight loss goal and seeing results, they are more likely going, or man, they're more likely going to grab carrots and hummus from the refrigerator during snack time, because that's going to feel good and you're going to get hydrated and drink enough water, rather than grabbing the gummy bears or the ice cream or a glass of wine. And so that's called adaptability. So it starts with the yucky thoughts, maybe the story that you don't really want to follow, that becomes this behavior that you're doing and that you believe you are. Okay, so we accept it. It's not good or bad. It is what it is. Sure, you had a story. Who doesn't? We all have stories. It's super normal. But then we become accountable to it. We remember, you know what? That's my old story, and I'm accountable. I don't really want to think that way, and I don't have to choose this out of this old story because it's not even real. It's something that I chose to believe at some point and live out. I don't want to live it out anymore, so I'm going to adapt out. Nope, I've got some new thoughts, and some good, just some quick ways to adapt out would be, write down the new story. Have it in front of you on a 3x5 card every day. I used to mark a little heart on my hand to remind myself, I'm a loving, good mother. I'm good at this. Okay. And that's my new story. And I don't have to second guess that. And I can believe that. I don't have to believe anything else. Right. So a little heart on my hand would just remind me I'm loving to my friends, my spouse. I'm good. I'm giving it all I got here. And that's who I've become out of seeing that. And I believe it. I don't have to believe another story. So you could write a little symbol just reminding you, you know what? I'm not fat. And I'm deserving of weight loss. And I'm doing all that I can. I'm watching what I eat. I'm taking steps to do a weight loss program at Tone today. I'm drinking plenty of water. Facts. Doing it. There is no story about me being a fat person who's tried this before and it just isn't going to work, because that certainly is not true. What doesn't work is when you're believing a story about weight loss that has never worked for you and that is not factual, versus a new story that you are able to lose weight by following the program and the steps, and that it's starting to happen. And so that's how we create new stories.